Hey guys, thank you for sticking around and watching this series of mine that I've never even thought about doing up until just recently. So I'm like, this is exciting because it's kind of revisiting The Craft by Dorothy Morrison, revisiting this book. This is the very first witch book that I've ever put my hands on, and it's a pretty good thing. I really like it. I'm not saying I agree with 100% of everything in here, but there is quite a bit in here. I would say 95% I really love this book. And it's one of the foundations, one of the layers of foundations that created Wiccagem himself. I know I'm terribly sorry for the whole everyday sun magic. I put out some videos and I schedule them for release dates, and I'm just like, you know what, no, let's just take on one book. And I know I said I want to do 2 books, but let's just take on one book. Being the fact that we're on part 2 of the book. Part 2 is where we get the tools, the magical tools, as you see, page 55. And here is when we start actually getting into the exercises, a little more intense on exercising. And the first tool that you kind of want to work with, which is so funny because it is the first tool that I started working with, the wand. Fairy tales and childhood impressions aside, the wand is probably the most powerful utensils in the witch's toolbook. I kind of like that. It's kind of unique. Anyways, in here she has the elemental for air, direction for east, the color is yellow, and the gender is male or female, or both. For me, the wand is fire, for the fact is that it helps fire. It creates fire. It also is the directional, to me, is more of a south thing. It is more of directed energy. And here's a toss-up that I created a video ages ago about wands versus anthemies, or anthemies versus wands. And it's just preference right now because it relates to my tarot cards as well. It relates to everything. Some people say it's air because it produces air and it feeds air. It also feeds fire, which is a huge complex for me. So I ended up going with fire. And as you can see, my wand here is made from a willow tree that is no longer standing at the corner of the street over here. We had this willow tree, and it was pretty much my bus stop for ages for school. And it always had this, it's weepy willow looking, and that's what I call it, weepy willow. And forever and ever, I always looked at this tree, and I always thought it was a great, amazing tree. At one point, I thought it was the grandma talking tree for Pocahontas. It was a very spiritual tree to me. And surprisingly enough, the lady who lived there before the girl who's living there now, who is a really close friend of ours, the lady before that, her husband used to fish with my dad all the time, so we kind of talk back and forth. The tree has literally protected her home from drunken drivers so many times it's not even funny. So for some reason, that tree actually can withstand beatings when he was alive, he or she was alive. Up until recently, they had to chop it down for the fact that it was infested with termites. It pretty much was diseased and damaged and no good, and at this point, it was at that point where it couldn't repair itself. The sad part about the tree is actually watching it dying slowly. For years, it used to produce a lot of leaves, a lot of vines and whatnot, weeping things, and it just died, and it was so sad. Anyways, from that tree, I made a lot of things before I even got my magic wand from it. A lot of things. I used to take the weeping willow parts and create a circle, so it could be a circle on my altar for power, for unity, for the continuum of life and death and life again, a rebirth. I also used to have the leaves and use it to make Hecate oils from out of it. So why not a wand? I know my wand's kind of outdated, but I love this wand. I was meticulous on the shape of the height of from the elbow to the fingers. I was big on that. I like the shape of it, how it twines a little. It's light, it's not heavy. The really weird part about it is that it's still firm, it's still strong. So what I did was I followed her instruction in here on how to harvest it says wand harvest and how to harvest a wand. I actually did this, and I took fertilizing sticks to the tree. I also did a little bit of little sachets. I did like 2 of them. One for love and growth of the tree, and another one was for protection. And sometimes I feel like I didn't help it at the moment, but it was okay. So I pretty much gathered enough material, and I kind of connect with the tree. The neighbor was kind of weird, the fact that I was standing in her yard, touching her tree, but so be it. And I connected with it, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't a conversation. It was more of just looking at each other and had that mutual understanding of what I need to do. So I asked, and part of me felt like I was denied a couple times. So I think I tried about 3 times, 3-4 times before I actually did it. I just want to respect it. Maybe it wasn't ready to offer me the right one, and maybe it wasn't. So I did it. And here I also did a little bit of how she did the creation of it, on how I charged it and whatnot, and I also did the blessing ritual, which was amazing. And then I did a concentration in here, and I have done a couple weeks of the training on here, but I don't think I actually went further than that. So the next video will be talking about week 1, and it's going to be a part videos. It's going to one part of the video, the beginning of the video, is going to be talking about the exercise and whatnot, and then the other part will be the aftermath of the week 1. So get ready. We're going to be doing this. So hopefully you have your wand in time for this video and connecting it and ready to do it. Hopefully you did the whole entire harvest, the creation, the blessing, and the concentration before you continue. So till then, let's beat.